Hey, I'm Dr. Austin Cohen here, and what I want to share with you today is 4 keys to living to 100 years old. And for some of you guys, you think in your head, do I really want to live to be 100? Because for some of you, it's quality that matters the most. And I would agree with you. But there's something that you can't avoid in today's world, and that is centenarians, people who live to be 100, are some of the fastest growing population right now in our society. In 1990, there were 2.9 centenarians per 10,000 people over the age of 65. In 2015, that number jumped all the way up 3 times, over 7 people per 10,000 over 65 were centenarians. And now what they're saying is, by the year 2050, in the next 20-something years, that number is going to be over 20. So 23 people per 10,000 are centenarians. So more people are living to be 100. So whether you want to live to be 100 or not, the fact is, you may not have a choice. And so what matters the most is quality to those years. And so how do we do that? How do we get to 100, and how do we also live quality to 100 years old? There's 4 keys I've got. And if you can follow these 4 keys, and obviously there's no guarantee in life, but the chances are good. And where does a lot of this come from? It comes from studying what are called blue zones. Blue zones are populations in the world where people tend to live 100 years old. Loma Linda, California. In Italy, they have populations as well. In Sardinia, they have populations in Okinawa, Japan. So there's different places in our world where people are tending to live over 100 years old with a high quality life. And so we want that for all of our clients. We want that for you. I know personally for me, time with my family is one of the most important things, with my friends as well. And so, but how do I have that quality? How am I able to play sports with my family? How am I able to run around with them as well, right? And do the things that I want to do, not just watch them live their life. I want to be part of that life. And so how do we do that? So let's go through these 4 keys. And the first one is up here. It's all about your mindset. What does that mean, mindset? It means that you tend to live a proactive life. You do things before they happen. Unfortunately, I lost both of my grandfathers to cancer in 2004. One of my grandfathers swam every single day. He felt amazing. The one day he went to his doctor, the doctor told him, "Phil, your time is limited. You have cancer." Same thing with my other grandfather. He was driving his car the day before around the island that him and his family lived on in South Carolina. And they were looking for deer and all these different things as they were outside with their grandkids, and went to the doctor a week later. Doctor says, "Harris, your time is limited, you have cancer." But they felt fine time before that because the mindset for them was reactive. You can't wait for something to happen before you address the issue. And here's the mindset of our society right now in our country. You wait to seek help for your marriage or do date nights with your spouse when something is wrong. Oh, my relationship isn't doing well. Hey, honey, let's start having date nights. My business isn't doing well. Hey, now I should start marketing and working on ways to get new clients. I don't have a whole lot of money in my bank account. Oh, now I should start saving money and not spending so much. Oh, now I have type 2. Now I have high sugar levels, or I'm starting to get type 2 diabetes. Now I should start eating healthy. We wait until there's a problem before we do something about it. It is the exact opposite mindset, and it's why we're in the situation we're in right now, where what you're seeing is you're seeing more centenarians, but why are you seeing an age drop? This is like the 2nd or 3rd year in a row where we've seen the average age of our population go down, but we're having more centenarians than ever. And what I want for all of you is to be part of that 23 people over the age of 65 out of 10,000 that get to live to be 100. And it all starts with your mindset. I have clients who come in all the time and I ask them, are you doing any cryotherapy? Are you doing any massage? Are you doing stretch therapy, chiropractor, acupuncture? What else are you doing for recovery? They go, I don't need to do any of those things. So that means that they're waiting for there to be something wrong before they were to take action, or they may not just understand how that can help preventatively. Ask us as Corrective Chiropractic, as your providers, what can you do to live the best quality life that you want to live? Personally for me, I do cryotherapy every Sundays. I have no symptoms, 0. I feel great. But I would assume, based on how much I work out and do all these things to take care of my body, I would assume there's inflammation in my body, even though I can't feel it. If I went out right now and had a cheeseburger, I'm not going to feel the inflammation in my heart. But there's inflammation occurring. My liver's releasing cholesterol to reduce the inflammation. I'm not going to feel that. What most people feel is the heart attack. They eat all this garbage for all these years and become 65 years old. They wake up one day and they have a heart attack. And it wasn't because the cheeseburger they ate the night before that gave them their heart attack. It was the years of buildup of being asymptomatic that got them to the level that they got to. And so it's a matter of thinking differently. What can you do proactively? Are you going to wait until your doctor tells you have cancer to start spending time with the ones you love and start taking better care of yourself? You're going to wait till you have a heart disease before you start looking at the way you eat? Are you going to wait till you have diabetes before you start eliminating sugar and actually doing better fat content or protein content for your body to help balance out receptors in your body and help your body function as a higher level? What are we waiting for, right? I mean, if somebody told you had a certain amount of time to live, would you make changes? Would you do something different if you knew there was a limited time, or if you knew you were capacity for a disease? See, we see this all the time, right, at Corrective Chiropractic. We see people, unfortunately, who wait to see a chiropractor when they're in pain, which is honestly really not the best time to see a chiropractor. The best time to see a chiropractor is before you have pain, because then the issues haven't gotten to where they've gotten to. You haven't had a disc issue yet. You haven't had the curve get to a bad level that it's gotten to where it started to create all these symptoms. So the thing is, what you want to start changing and looking at is your mindset around health. How do you think proactively? For instance, the next thing that I was going to talk about, the second tip, is studying data. And that's a great way to be proactive. Most people look at their health subjectively. They say, if I feel great, I am healthy. Listen, I know a lot of people that feel great, just like my grandfathers. They had cancer though. They felt great, but they had cancer. I know people that feel great on a Thursday and die of a heart attack on a Friday. So data tells you everything. And so for us at Corrective Chiropractic, we work with Whoop, which is an international company. It tells me, how was my sleep the night before? What trends do I do that help me get the best quality sleep? What are the trends I do that help me recover better? Are there supplements I take that recover better? Because I journal every morning and it gives me that data. I do stool samples every single year to understand my B vitamins. I'll do blood samples every year so I can understand particle sizes of cholesterol. I'll do saliva testing every year to understand hormone levels and testosterone and cortisol. And so I'll do urine samples as well to check acidic levels of certain things. So these are proactive living things that starts with mindset, but they're data things, so I'm objectively evaluating my health. The supplements I take for my body are based on my necessities. So sometimes I take B vitamin supplements, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I take omega-3 vitamins, sometimes I don't. It's all based on the data and the research. So Whoop, testing, blood testing, saliva testing, stool testing, urine testing, and at Corrective Chiropractic, we have these. Your chiropractors and your providers at the clinics you're at have some of the best resources for you to live the best life possible. It's all about asking the right questions. You know, I believe that the quality of our life is directly correlated to the quality of the questions that we ask. And this is such a great resource for those of you that choose that you want that quality of life, or you want that quality of life, not when something happens, but you want it now. And so it's about studying what are the healthiest people on the planet doing to live to be where they're getting to be. So it's mindset, data, and then the third thing is mitigating stress. I didn't say removing stress. I didn't say eliminating stress. I said mitigating, lowering it down. We're all going to deal with stress in our lives, whether it's with family, friends, work, whatever it is. But what we can do is we can mitigate or decrease or how we affect or respond to that stress. I know personally for me, I don't watch the news. I don't get value out of it. And all it does is creates this environment of this world that may be true, may not be true, but either way it's creating this world that I can get sucked into and be affected from that. And when I don't watch the news, my quality of life is much better. My stress levels and hormones actually are regulated better too as well. I get better sleep, which is tracked via data. I can check my HRV, which is my heart rate variability. My resting heart rate is lower. So all these things happen based on that. Gratitude journal, right? Another great way to mitigate stress. What am I grateful for? What am I thankful for? No matter where we are in our lives, we all have things to be thankful for. If you woke up this morning and you have breath, there's something you're grateful for in your life. And sometimes some people have more things to be grateful for than others, but it's a matter of finding that and journaling that down. The other thing is something called earthing. As you can see, I'm in this beautiful scenery right now. And one of the best things that somebody could do to mitigate stress is what's called earthing. Our bodies have an electrical charge to it. By walking barefoot, whether it's putting my feet in this water, putting my feet on this earth, barefoot, not with shoes on, barefoot, and standing there, I'm balancing out the electrical charge in my body. Just a great way to mitigate stress. How peaceful does it feel right now being in this environment of this beautiful creek behind me and just feeling at peace? It helps with resting heart rate, helps with hormone balance, it helps with HRV, like we talked about heart rate variability earlier. It's all these things that help with nature is such a key foundation that we're really missing a big piece of. And that's why you're seeing people use a lot more essential oils. Essential oils are designed to help people get back to nature. They're smelling eucalyptus, they're smelling pine, they're smelling peppermint. They're smelling things out in nature that gets them back to the roots of where we came from. And so that would be the third thing, is determining how do we mitigate stress. And then the last one is, I think, probably one of the most important ones. Once you've created the right mindset around health, once you've figured out the data that you want to do to take care of your life, and once you've also figured out how to mitigate stress, the fourth thing would be this: what's your purpose? In Japan, they have something that's called an ikigai, which is like their purpose, their passion for living. And this is a study in the blue zones. So if you look up the blue zones and you understand why do people in Japan live longer than we do in America, well, one of the biggest reasons is usually they tend to have a sense of purpose or a sense of being. See, for us in our country, a lot of people tend to work towards retirement. And what happens after retirement? Usually there's an 18-month window that people tend to live. Maybe they live longer, maybe they don't. But it tends to decrease once retirement hits. Why is that? Sense of purpose goes away. You know, somebody who's 40 years old may say, oh, I can't wait to retire. But then what? And I think it's so important at such a young age, whether you're 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever you are, what's your passions? What are your hobbies? I know personally for me, when I was young in business, I know for me, it was really hard to find my hobbies because I got so sucked into work. I didn't have any passions. I didn't have any hobbies. There weren't things I enjoyed doing except for work. And as the years have gone on, I've started to realize and really look in the mirror to see, what do I love to do? So, you know, hiking. I love hiking. I love fishing. I love playing sports with my kids. I love being the coach of my son's baseball team, right? These are all things of sense of purpose and being that are way more than any fulfillment I'll ever get at work. As much as I love the testimonials and I love how much health is created and I love inspiring people to want to live a better life, not just for themselves, but for the people they love, the ikigai is that sense of purpose and that sense of being. And when you know that and it's defined and it becomes crystal clear, quality of life and the quantity of years can go up. Versus when we hit this age of retirement, we lose sense of purpose, we lose sense of being, and naturally health tends to make a massive decline. And what do you start seeing happening in people's postures? This. And what happens with that? Poor health tends to happen with that, usually leading to a chronic disease life, which is what we want to avoid. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. Centenarians are going to be the name of the game. It's going to be the word you're going to start hearing. It's going to be a buzzword that you're all going to start hearing pretty soon as that number goes up. But more important than that is the quality of the life of the years that we live. Ask the right questions, do the right things, change your mindset and your state of mind, and go live a healthy life and enjoy it.